My name's Debra Goodwin. I work at Vasquez Rocks County Park, and I've worked there for 22 years. And my primary job at Vasquez is taking care of our educational animals. We have 4 birds of prey, 3 snakes, an alligator lizard, 2 scorpions, and a tarantula that we have on display that we use for educational programs. We do programming at the park, and we also do outreach programs to teach children and adults to protect nature, to not remove the animals from their natural habitat, and just to make sure you protect them and keep them in your neighborhoods, especially the rodents, to keep down the rodent population with the reptiles and the birds of prey. And so right now we have 4 birds of prey. This one I'm going to share with you. I only brought 1 bird of prey to share with you today, and her name is Scooter. So all of our birds live with us at Vasquez Rocks. The birds of prey that we have in our possession live with us because they would not survive on their own in nature. She would not be able to live on her own because she doesn't know how to hunt. Her name is Scooter, and Scooter is a barn owl. Scooter's 15 years old, and when she was only this big, she was found. Her nest was in a tree, and the tree was in really poor health. So the person that owned the house had the tree cut down. Well, they made a big mistake. They didn't check the tree out first, and her nest was found on the ground the following day. Her and her brother were in the nest, and they were so small. So they were taken to a rehabilitator, which is like a veterinarian, and they took care of her. Well, her brother did not survive because he was so dehydrated, but she survived, and she lived at the rehabber's house. She was so little she couldn't fly. She could only scoot around the box she was kept in. So he named her Scooter. Well, Scooter is healthy now. There's nothing wrong with her, but she doesn't know how to hunt. She was removed from her mother at such a young age, she has no hunting skills. Because birds of prey, all the hawks, falcons, eagles, vultures, owls, they're not born knowing how to hunt. They're taught by their mother how to hunt between 3 to 6 months of age. Well, Scooter was removed from her mother before that time, so she never learned how to hunt. So if we released her, she would starve to death. So Scooter has lived in captivity all but about a week or 2 of her life, and she's 15 years old, but she's completely healthy, just no hunting skills. And she's a barn owl. Have any of you ever seen barn owls in your neighborhood? I bet. You'll see the white flight or the white flash across the sky when you're out on your property, because her undercoloration is almost pure white. But her back coloration, she has the brown and the gold and the gray on there, that helps her camouflage when she's sleeping, because she's a nocturnal animal. What does nocturnal mean? Very back, sweet. She's active at night and sleeping during the day. So that's why she doesn't like the heat very much during the summer, because she is so hot during the day. She'll stand in her water bowl with her wings drooping to get the air to flow through her feathers and cool her feet. So she really doesn't like the heat. So that's why she's a little grumpy today. Well, Scooter's nocturnal. So to be able to find food at night, she has a very special feature. Owls use their hearing to find their food, not their eyesight. Their eyesight's about 10 times better than ours, but they use their hearing to find their food. So I want everybody to take your right hand and place it at the top of your right ear. And take your other hand, your left hand, and place it on the bottom of your left ear. So you're going to have one ear high and then one ear low. If you were an owl, that's how your ears would be placed. They have one ear high and one a little bit lower. It increases their hearing. And you look at her pretty white face, it's shaped, it's concave, it rolls in, so it's like a satellite dish. So she can collect the sounds very easily. And then her face is bordered by those beautiful brown feathers, looks like a heart. Behind those brown feathers, those are very stiff feathers, they're very strong. Her ears are hidden behind are strong to protect her ears. Because of her hearing damage, she has a very hard time, if she were flying free, hunting or being aware of a predator. So owls use their hearing to find their food, not their eyesight. Because they could be hunting in the darkness of night when there's a lot of cloud cover, or there may not be a moon. And out here in the country, it's dark. We don't have street lights, right? So they have to depend on their hearing to find their food. And then they have a second feature that helps them hunt. Owls' feathers are designed different than hawks and falcons and eagles. They have silent flight because their feathers have a small gap between each tip of the feather, where the hawk, the eagle, and the falcon's feathers are side by side. So when they flap their wings, they make a lot of noise. When the owls flap their wings, there's less resistance. So when they flap their wings, there's no sound, so they can sneak up on their prey without it realizing. Since she's a nocturnal animal, what do you think she would hunt? If you have an idea, raise your hand. Go ahead, sweetie.
Mice.
Mice. Good job. What else?
Rattlesnakes.
No. Barn owls really don't like to hunt rattlesnakes, but red-tailed hawks like to hunt rattlesnakes.
Bats.
Bats. Yes, sweetie?
Scorpions.
Scorpions. So, what else do you think they would like to hunt?
Bugs.
Bugs. They'll hunt for like moths flying through the air maybe, but they prefer to hunt for small mammals. They're their main food source, small mice and rats. So, because they're out maybe scurrying around at sunset. So Scooter is nocturnal, so she uses her hearing to find her food. Can you guys see her beak? Kind of blends in with the plumage, the feathers on her face, huh? Because it's the same color. So we'll see if she'll show you her beak. There's her beak. See? She has that hook-shaped beak. This tells us she's a bird of prey, a carnivore. So she has her hook-shaped beak. That beak is designed to tear meat.
It's pretty sharp beak. Is it sharp like a lady one?
It's not sharp, but it's strong. Have you guys heard owls hooting in your neighborhood?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of them.
I bet. I have something special to tell you that if you hear an owl, if you guys hear an owl hooting, you're going to know it's not a barn owl. Barn owls are not able to hoot. If you hear an owl hooting in your neighborhood, it's a great horned owl, the big brown birds that are larger than her, almost double her size. If you hear an owl hooting, it's a barn owl, a great horned owl, not a barn owl. A barn owl makes 3 sounds. We'll see if she'll do this for us. The first is a snapping with her beak, and then a hissing sound like a cat, and then a screeching sound. She was screeching all morning. She was a little bit upset, so let's see if she'll make a snapping sound for us. Okay, she didn't want to snap. She wanted to screech. She's been screeching all day. So that's the screeching sound. Have you ever heard screeching like that in your neighborhood? If you have, raise your hand. So if you hear a screeching sound, you will know you have a barn owl in your neighborhood. So she would normally make a snapping sound, a hissing, and then a screeching sound. Can barn owls turn their head all the way around? No. Right, only in cartoons. She can turn her head 180 degrees so she can look straight forward and straight back. Let's see if she'll show you. She keeps her body nice and still, but she can turn her head 180 degrees. Let's see.
How come she can't go all the way?
Because she has vertebrae in the back of her neck. You guys touch the bones in the back of your neck here. You have vertebrae in the back of your neck that help support your big old heavy heads, but also enable you to turn your head from side to side, right? Well, she has vertebrae in her neck also, but they can move more than ours can. So she's able to look straight forward and straight back. If we want to look behind us, what do we have to do? where she can keep her body still and just turn her head. Let's see if she did what she did last time. So she can look straight forward and straight back. Like the red-tailed hawks, theirs are very powerful and strong. Hers are very sharp. So if she were hunting, she'd fly down, capture her food, probably a small rat or mouse, with her talons. Her talons are so sharp that they puncture that food. So once the food's dead, then she would eat the food. So she tears pieces off. She doesn't have teeth to chew her food like we do. So when she's eating her food, she's going to eat the fur, the bone, the meat. Pardon me?
And they poop out the bones.
They spit them up. They spit them up. It's a pellet. So they're eating all parts of what they've hunted, whether it be a rat, maybe the tail they're eating. So they're eating all of it. They swallow those pieces whole, and they're not able to digest the hard products, so they have to spit up those hard products. And that forms a little pellet. Have any of you guys seen a pellet before?
Yes.
Owls spit up pellets. Not only owls, hawks, eagles, falcons, vultures, they all have to spit up a pellet, not just owls. So she's going to spit up. If they're really small, if it's a small falcon, it can be that small. But her pellet, she spits up her about this big. So she will spit that up after she's eaten her food, and then she spits that up because it's blocking her digestion. She can't eat again until she gets rid of that pellet. Have you guys seen a cat spit up a hairball before?
Yeah.
It's a lot like that. It's a lot like that, but it stinks really bad because they eat rats and mice. So they'll spit that up, and they're unable to eat again until they clear that. Everyone go like this. Both your hands up at your eyes. So if you were an owl, this is what your vision would be like. It's called binocular vision. She cannot move her eyes from side to side or up and down. So if she wants to see from side to side, she has to move her head from side to side. If she wants to look up, she has to move her whole head. Or look down, she has to move her head. She's not able to move her eyes from side to side. Now take your hands down and look side to side so we can move our eyes, right? Look up and down. But if we were an owl, this is what our vision would be. So she has to, if she wants to see my hand over here, she has to move her head. She can't move her eyes, she has to move her head. Because her eyes are fixed. They don't move side to side, or up or down. Pretty cool. She doesn't blink very often.
I think he wanted to go.
No, it's part of our routine, she knows, so because I want everyone to be able to see her beak, because it blends in with her feathers. She has a big beak, doesn't she?
Huge one.
It's very big. Isn't she pretty? How much do you think she weighs? Remember, I'm not very strong in holding her with one hand. Any ideas how much she would weigh?
10 pounds?
Pardon me?
10 pounds?
Less than 10 pounds.
40, 10,
Less than 5.
3,
Less than 3.
1. Oh, like 40 pounds?
No, less than
0. 2.
1.5 to 2 pounds. Doesn't she look like she weighs more than that?
Yeah.
There's a couple reasons. She's covered in feathers to help enable her to fly, but also to keep her warm during the winter and to help cool her down during the summer because the air can flow through her feathers when she droops her wings. Also, birds' bones are hollowed like a straw, so it really reduces how much they weigh, plus it enables them to fly. Also makes their bones fragile. Isn't she beautiful though? Her larger than her?
Diamonds.
Pardon me?
Falcons.
Falcons. So birds of prey would be their number one, other birds of prey would be their other natural predator. The number one unnatural predator would be humans, unfortunately. We remove them from their nests either accidentally or on purpose because, like her, she was removed from her nest accidentally because they cut the tree down. But some people take them out of their nest and look at this cute little bird, this little owl, isn't it adorable? And make the best pet. But you can't do that, that's against the law. We have our birds because they're animals that wouldn't be able to live on their own if they didn't have us to take care of them. I'm going to have her fly a short distance. She won't be anywhere near you, but I want you to listen to her, the sounds, and see if she will be attached to my hand at all times. I won't let her anywhere near you guys, but you'll get a good view of her under coloration and listen to see if you hear her wings make any sound. Are you ready? Oh, you don't like that fly? That's pretty scary. Well, she was making noise because I'm in a very small area, and she's not familiar with here, so her wings were hitting my glove. But at where I usually do my animal presentations at the rocks, I have a larger area, and she's familiar with it, so she can fly a further distance away from me, and she's not hitting her wings on my glove then. But she actually makes no sound when she flies, so she could sneak up on her prey without it realizing. I'm going to let you ask questions when I'm all done showing the last animal, okay? Okay. So to review Scooters, she's a bar now. She's 15 years old. She weighs only 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. And she lives with us because she doesn't know how to hunt. Because she was removed from her nest at such a young age, she has no hunting skills. Isn't that sad? Huh? I wish I could. She was also imprinted, which means she had such hands-on care when she was being taken care of because she was so sick. She had to have hands-on care 24 hours a day, that she's not afraid of humans. She thinks of us as caregivers instead of a predator, something to be afraid of. So we talked real quickly about her casting up a pellet. So this is an example. This is an owl pellet from a great horned owl, which is almost double her size. The great horned owl spit up that pellet after it ate its food, digested its food. The part it could not digest, it spit up that pellet. Now, if we dissected that pellet, we could tell what that animal had eaten the day before it spit up that pellet. So if we found hollow bones in a pellet, what would that tell us? It ate another bird because it had hollow bones in its pellet. So all birds of prey, hawks, eagles, falcons, and owls, they all have to spit up a pellet to get rid of the hard products. So my co-worker, she dissected 15 different owl pellets, identified the different bones in there, and put them in the different categories and made this awesome display.
I need to tell you a story when I was in preschool. In her old laundry, one day she found an owl's nest in it. And one day the farmer went away, so she took care of them until they started to come off and they died. Once when I went to preschool,
they'll do that, or the mom will get injured or something. Birds' nests are pretty special items. That's their home, and we have to protect them. So would you like to see one more critter? So both of the animals I brought today are animals you would find here in your neighborhoods. She's the most common snake found in North America, and she lives in the interpretive center at Vasquez Rocks. She was actually on display down at Plaster Nature Center, and when we opened our interpretive center, they transferred her up here. So she's a constrictor snake, a non-venomous snake, a constrictor snake. I would not be holding a venomous snake with my bare hands. The best way to identify the difference between a venomous snake and a constrictor snake is by the shape of their head.
And the scale.
And the scales. So sometimes their designs look very similar. Look at her head. It's the same size. Look at her head. It's the same size as her body. Her head's nice and narrow like her body. Right? I don't want to scare you. I'm sorry. See her head? Can't let you touch her because they can carry bacteria called salmonella, which is harmful to humans. Also, she has tiny little sharp teeth in her mouth, so she could bite. If you smell like a rat, she'd think, there's my dinner. See her little face? Same width as her head. So this tells us she's a non-venomous snake, a constrictor snake. Isn't she pretty? And we can tell she's a female because her tail is thicker than the male's tail. See, her tail's nice and thick. I'm going to go behind you real quick. I'm sorry. I don't want to scare anybody, but look at how beautiful her face is and her markings. This is the snake that's most incorrectly identified as a rattlesnake. Because of their coloration, they look very similar to the southern Pacific rattlesnake, which is native here. So they're often misidentified as a venomous snake. The venomous snakes have a big triangular shaped heads that look like a diamond shape, where the constrictors have the narrow heads. Oh, snap! I can't let you because of the salmonella or the possibility of her biting. Did you guys get to see her? Isn't she pretty? She's pretty small. See, she has that narrow head, so that tells us she's not venomous. Since she's a venomous, non-venomous snake, you know how she kills her food? She catches it with her mouth, then she uses all the muscles and bones of her body to wrap around, and once she knows her food is dead, then she smells it with her tongue, because she uses her tongue to smell. She picks scents up in the air, smells in the air, and she has a little gland in her brain called the Jacobson, and it tells her, is this a predator or a prey? And if you smell like a rat, she's like, okay, it's dinner time. her again. So look at her coloration. She's a desert animal. Why does she look like that? Why are her colors like this? Aren't her colors nice, bright yellow or red? To camouflage and blend into her terrain. So she's able to be along the rocks or under the juniper bushes or by the yucca plants. Snakes love to go under the yuccas because they know they're protected from predators because the yuccas have the points on the end, the needles on the end. So she has great coloration. She does look like a rattlesnake, huh?
But I know what you
She
can
look
tell
like
a rattlesnake. A rattlesnake's lovely because
You can tell a rattlesnake from a constrictor snake is because of the shape of the head.
no, you can also tell it by the scale. Regular snakes have flat scales. Rattlesnakes have bumpy scales.
They have very textured, yes. And their eyes are placed differently than the rattle. Their eyes are more at the top of their head, and their eyes are raised, where if you look at her eyes, they're almost flat with her skin on her face. So the coloration, but her coloration is almost identical to the rattlesnakes that we have here in the Southern Pacific. I'm going to put her on the ground. I'm not going to let her near you, but I want you to be able to see how she moves, how she uses the muscles and bones on her body to get around and move on the She always goes right to my shoes because she knows that's a familiar scent. Always.
It's like your mama.
Well, I am like the one bird I have at Vasquez Rocks. She's 15 years old and I've been taking care of her for 15 years. So that's my main job, is taking care of the animals we have in our care. But if you look at her coloration, if she's out on the trail or in your driveway at home, it'd be hard to see her. She would blend into the terrain, huh? What else? Just a sec. What else do you think we'd like to hunt for her? What do you think we'd like to hunt for her? Yeah, for sure.
Birds of prey.
Birds of prey, they love to hunt snakes. So if they're flying across the sky, it looks like they're carrying a rope from their talons, they're usually carrying a snake in their talons. She's not moving. She's checking out. This is nice warm carpet. I don't think she's ever been on carpet before. Huh. Where's your shoes, Debbie? Where's your shoes? I'll find them. She's smelling for the scent of my shoes because she's familiar with them. You can see her moving. She's got a spinal column like we do with probably 120 to 130 rib bones, which are covered in muscles. So that enables her to move and also digest her food. She's at my shoes. She smells them. She knows the scent.
I think she's trying to wrap around you.
She likes to. She just knows that's the scent of my shoes.
Does she like wrapping around you?
No, she just checking it out. Going to go see where's the other shoe. She's smelling with her tongue. Did you have a question, sweetie? Oh, the middle portion of a rattlesnake on your patio? Wow. You know what? The skin. Really? We have the skin that snakes have to shed. Because they'll shed 8 to 10 times a year. So the minute a snake is born until it dies, it's constantly growing. And its skin gets too tight, so it has to shed before it can eat again. Because when its skin is so tight, it can't see and it can't eat because its skin is too tight, it can't move.
saw a huge snake was like this size.
Wow.
And
She's
I
pretty
saw
good.
Gopher
Look at how big she is. She'll grow to be about 6 foot in length.
Guess
She's
what?
a little snake, huh? She won't open her mouth for me. She's just smelling. She only opens her mouth when she's yawning.
I once saw
Or when she's
Gopher
eating.
Snake. This snake has a king Gopher Snake.
Wow. Yes, dear?
My friend found a very long snake. It was on the ground and she like
Well, you know, you have to be careful. Even if they're non-venomous, they still have teeth and they can have some bacteria in their mouth. So you have to be careful. And not all rattlesnakes have rattles. Because when a rattlesnake is born, it's born without rattles. They're live birth, they're not hatched from an egg. And when they're born, they do not have rattles. So their rattles are formed from the skin it sheds. So an adult rattlesnake may not even have a rattle, because if it has an injury, the rattle can be broken off. So you can't determine if it's a rattlesnake based on the rattle. You have to base it on the shape of the face and
Or the
coloration.
skin.
Also, gopher snakes are great actors. So are king snakes. They'll puff their jaws up to look like a rattlesnake, and they'll make a hissing sound, and then they'll wiggle their tail to mimic rattlesnake behavior. It's a form of defense for them. I've had it happen at work. Walking along the trail, there's a small little snake. It looks like it could be a rattlesnake. And she puffed her jaws up, and she struck at my foot, and she made the hissing sound and wiggled her tail. And if I didn't know her, I would have thought she was a rattlesnake. But they're great actors, and it really does protect them from some predators.
That once happened at my house.
That happens.
Yeah, a gopher snake rattled its tail at my house.
They don't do that. We have a new king snake in our care, and she does it every time I put my hand in the enclosure to try to handle her. She pretends she's a rattlesnake. Yes, dear, you've been very patient.
if I was afraid to a gopher snake, I would not try to go near the yucca. I know what it feels like.
I know, but that's why they go under. You'll see oftentimes if you're out on the trails or something, and a snake sees you, and if there's a yucca, they'll go, the snakes know to go under the yucca because they're protected from predators, human or other animals, because of the spines and the needles. Do we have any other questions? Yes.
It's an owl question.
Yes.
Okay, I had a barn that had an owl house built in it, and for 2 years it was occupied, and for the last 8 years, nothing comes and lives in it. Is there any way to attract the owl?
It's really hard to re-attract them to if you have that house there for them. The best way is there's probably something in the area that could be a predator to them and nest near there, and that's why they're not comfortable, because they know that the babies or them could be harmed. So you could try relocating it to a different position, somewhere that's maybe they'll feel more protected from predators. That's the best thing. There's really nothing you can offer, and it can't offer them food or anything in there to bait it or anything. But the best thing is to try to relocate it. Yes, dear?
Are gopher snakes related to boa constrictors?
They're part of the constrictor family, yes, because that's how they kill their prey. They use their muscles and bones to strangle their prey and swallow it.
Yeah, my dad had a 6-foot boa constrictor when he was
Rosie? We have on display at Vasquez Rocks, we have a rosy boa constrictor, which is native to this area. You don't see them as frequently as you do the gopher snake, king snake, rattlesnakes,
Once
or
my dad
the
thought
red
he found
racers.
a rosy bush.
But we do have a rosy boa, but she's a biter. She loves to bite. And we found out she was born in captivity and her parents were biters also. Yes, dear?
Other snakes go underneath.
Yes. Lizards will too. You'll see lizards if you're out there hiking and there's a yucca, and a lizard feels afraid of you, then they'll go into the yucca also. So they help take care of the rats or the mice or the gophers. Gopher snakes love to go down in the gopher holes and eat the gophers.
They also eat
Rattlesnakes will eat a lot of if you have a lot of king snakes, there'll be less rattlesnakes because the king snakes are immune to the rattlesnake venom. But the gophers are not. So if you have a lot of king snakes in your neighborhood, you're going to know that there aren't going to be as many rattlesnakes as there will be in yours.
What does a king snake look like?
They're black and white banded, or that a mountain king snake can be red banded, white and brown also. But out here, the most common we have are the California king or the common king snake, and they're white and brown banded, or black banded, or it can almost look like a yellowish off-white and brown and black banded. But they're the ones that are immune to rattlesnakes. Rattlesnake venom. Yes, dear? She asked if we find rattlesnakes at Vasquez Rocks, do we keep them or kill them? We relocate them. We have a big area of property called the sanctuary area that's off limits to the public. It's about a 60-acre parcel. So when we find rattlesnakes, we move them over to that area. We've had a lot of rattlesnakes this year. In a matter of 4 weeks, I removed 5 baby rattlesnakes around our office area. So we've had a lot of rattlesnakes this year.
Is it an area that people hide here?
It's not an area that's open to the public. It's a sanctuary area. It's on the west end of the park. It's posted no hiking, so it's a sanctuary. No, we don't kill anything. If anything's down around the public, even if it's a gopher snake where the big rock is and all the cars, we'll remove it to an outer area so it's protected, because everything at the rocks is protected. The most dangerous snake in the world is probably got to be a viper in Asia, and I'm not sure which one it would be, because there's a lot of very dangerous snakes over in Asia. Black lung is one of the most poisonous, but they're venomous. There's a couple other that are right up there with it. Yes, dear? What if you're hiking or walking around the property at your home? What do you always do? You're always watching where you're placing your feet and your hands, right? If there's a lizard going under the brush, you're not going to go try to grab that lizard, because what else could be under the brush? A rattlesnake. So always watch where you're placing your hands when you're hiking or walking around your property, where you're placing your feet and your hands. Also make some noise when you're out there, and kind of walk a little heavy, because the snakes will feel that vibration and they're going to go away from that vibration because they don't want to be around you. They want to go the opposite direction. Pardon me? Backward? Yeah. If I see a snake on the trail, I keep my eye on it and I back up and go the other direction, so I know where that snake's going. Yes, dear.
One time my mom was walking on our porch and she almost stepped on a gopher snake, and we named him Sir Milton. Then she was walking on our property and she saw a king snake and she named it King David.
You guys have great names for your snakes on your property. Those are very fancy names. Yes, dear?
We always have a bunch of snakes. Each one, so each one looks a little different, so we'll know which one. So we'll know if we see the same snake twice.
That's good, because even the gopher snake, if I had another gopher snake right next to her, it's going to look a little different. Its markings are going to be a little different, or its coloration. Not each snake is going to be identical. There's little variations in their coloration and their markings, and sometimes even the length, like they could have a little bit longer head. But isn't she's beautiful. She's such a good snake. So when you come to Vasquez Rocks, you'll see her on display in the Interpretive Center.
Yeah,
And she's the one that's always up looking around, wanting to know what's going on, because she's very personable. Well, I think we're good. Okay, you guys were awesome. I have some little papers back there, some coloring sheets and some information, so you can tell the difference between a rattlesnake, the venomous snake, and a non-venomous snake. And also there's some stuff about owl pellets and sorting the owl pellets, the bones you'll real good. Well, thank you.